Hey, how's it going? So February is Quality of Life Month according to Jagex, and in case you don't know already, quality of life updates are like tiny things that make your day-to-day life while playing the game slightly easier. And quality of life updates aren't meant to be big, huge, game-changing updates by any means, but typically they're more to like save you an extra click here and there. So over the course, just from playing the game and from browsing Reddit as well, I've come up with a list of 5 quality of life updates that I think could potentially be useful to add into Old School Runescape. Now before we get into this, I totally understand that updates can be a controversial thing in this game, and it can be hard to see an outside perspective by yourself, so I'm sure there are going to be pros and cons to every idea, and not everyone is going to agree with the ideas that I put in this video. And after you finish watching the video, I would love to hear your feedback in the comments about these ideas, whether they be beneficial or detrimental to the game, and why. Also, one last thing to keep in mind is that I have no clue whatsoever about coding, so some of these ideas might take an insane amount of engine work, but yeah, I have no knowledge in that field. So with all that being said, let's jump into these 5 quality of life ideas for Old School RuneScape. So the first idea is to make a warning for removing placeholders. When you take items out of your bank, you have the option to leave a placeholder there, which is basically to keep your bank organized because it leaves a space for that item in your bank, but it just shows the quantity as 0. This is so useful for so many aspects of the game, including skilling, PKing, bossing, and more. But when you go to your bank options to set bank fillers, there's an option right above that to remove all placeholders in the bank. And it's so easy to accidentally click this, and when that happens, it could ruin your whole bank depending on how you had it organized. So whether they make the button toggleable or add a warning when you press it, it could save players the annoyance of having to reorganize their banks just due to a misclick. The next idea is to hide the results of the polling booths until after the poll has ended. I'm sure the majority of people vote in the polls based on how they truly feel, but the subconscious idea of already knowing the results might affect some people. And even if this only affects 1% of the people voting, that 1% could make all the difference between a pass and a fail. So whether or not the polls actually influence people's votes right now, if they're hidden, then they definitely won't be able to influence anyone at all. The next idea that I want to throw in here is the ability to equip items while you're banking. So when you have the bank open and have equipable items in your inventory, this would mean that you could right-click it and equip the item without actually having to close the bank, equip the item, then open the bank back up again. If you're equipping your full setup, of course it would still be faster to close the bank and equip everything rather than just right-clicking each individual item from the banking screen. But if you maybe forgot to put on one item, or need to wear a different item for a quest or something, then this could save you an extra couple clicks. Alright, this next idea is probably the most minor one out of all 5, but this one has been bothering me for a very long time, and the game is literally unplayable for me until this is changed. And this is going to be going by the assumption that you have the Ghost Ahoy quest complete. So whether or not you have your Ghost Speak amulet equipped, you can right-click the barrier into Port Phasmades to get in without any dialogue. However, when you try to left-click to pass the barrier, the guards always stop you to say thank you before you go in. So either way, you're always going to have to do one extra click to get in, and it doesn't matter whether or not your Ghost Speak amulet is equipped, they're always going to try to stop you. I'm all for showing thanks and appreciation, but to me the dialogue seems unnecessary and redundant, and a single left click into Port Phasmades is all I could ask for. And the 5th and final idea for this list is adding the option to set requirements to join a clan chat. Whether it's based off of total levels, account age, quest points, or whatever, it would be nice to add some kind of restrictions that clan owners could set. This would probably require the most engine work and might be considered a step above a quality of life update, and I don't even know if it'd even be possible, especially considering the amount of time Jagex is currently committing to RuneScape Mobile as well as their other regular updates. This would not only help to get rid of spammers, but also allow more serious clans better moderation for who they allow in. But that is going to wrap it up for today's video, and like I said at the start, I would really love to hear your feedback on these ideas because I'm sure there's pros and cons to these that I never would have thought of on my own. Also in the comments, please feel free to leave your own quality of life ideas that you would want to see added into the game because I would love to read those as well. But I do hope that you enjoyed today's video. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow.